Alright guys, what's happening? Looks like we've got AJ and we got Jeremy and Captain Shotgun in the chat. What's going on, guys? How's everybody's evening going? Just gonna be doing some cleaning. I got all this stuff from our trip back from Maryland that I'm gonna go through. I didn't even get a chance to look at this. This is in the dark sweet bag that we got from Maryland. It looks like a map of the campus, which is pretty sweet. Actually, it's a more up-to-date map because they added a couple different pieces of information. That's pretty cool. I don't know to find mine. Maryland Mayhem was a lot of fun. Holy smokes. I wish we had more time. More time there because it just felt like it was just wall to wall, go 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 go. But yeah, we didn't. We went down Friday after my son got out of school. We packed the van up with my brother and my son. We packed the van up. We met my sister just outside of Columbus. I think it's by like Covington, Ohio, and she met us down there. We got her stuff packed up and headed down that way. We didn't get into Maryland until about 2:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. Got some sleep, got up and headed over to the Blaster Con in the 11th hour, and it was kind of overwhelming walking in, and it was just huge event. Well run. I really enjoyed myself. Everybody was really kind and understanding, and you know, it was one of those things where it's like you go in kind of feeling like you're an outsider, but like you quickly talk to one or two people and they like really like kind of welcome you in, kind of point out where things are and what there is to do and where to start, because that's really what it is. It's like you walk in and you've got the field on the left, which games weren't started just yet. We got there about a half hour before games started because we wanted to get like our stuff moved in and kind of get set up, which we didn't realize that there wasn't really a staging area, and like on the right side was like what we thought was the staging area. It was like a half soccer field that wasn't really being used, but people were kind of lining the edges. So we kind of set up over there, and then on the other corner was like the Blaster Con where it had all the vendors and stuff like that. So it was just like you just walk in and there's just stuff everywhere. You're like, oh, where do I go from here? But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and kind of opened my eyes to what it would take to put on something like that. And yeah. So my hat's off to the organizers from all 3 days. From what I've read, the tournament went really well. Some people were saying they were having some issues with the stream and stuff like that. I checked in during my work day during the day on Friday when I was kind of bouncing around between errands, and it didn't seem too bad. I was watching it on my phone, so that might have been something. If you're watching on a screen this size versus 50-inch TV, you might have a little bit better experience if they're shooting with like a lower quality bit rate or lower quality camera, like anything like that. So resolution shrunk down. You can hide a lot of errors, a lot of blemishes. But from what I saw, it was really good. But yeah, let's see here. My day was good. Captain Shotgun says my day was good. Got some free shocks on my Jeep. Okay, there you go. Hey, free is good. Free is good. Oh, I had a blast. No pun intended. Yeah. Oh yeah, Captain Shotgun. Yeah. I apologize, man. You didn't make it out. You'll have to find link up on another one. I don't know whereabouts you're located at, but yeah, it's finding another HVZ or something like that, or I don't really know. I know we'll probably chat a little bit about the announcement that they made at the end on Sunday, but hopefully they find their feet, and it sounds like from what the announcement was talking about, they're going to be looking for possibly another venue. Not really sure. I don't know anything. I know probably less than you guys do after watching the Foam After Dark podcast. I just started watching it today. Unfortunately, my work day was pretty busy, and I had to keep pausing and then rewinding because I was like, okay, what were they talking about again? So I think I'm just about getting to like the part where they were chatting about Maryland, but no, I really want to kind of see what people were saying about it. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like the group is going to try to find an alternative location if they can't come to terms with the whole blaster issue. Let's see here. I completely forgot the tournament, and for the first 5 games, the stream wasn't up. Oh, you're in South Carolina, so yeah, Enwar. It's like right in your backyard. I would love to go to that. From watching what was it, Spud's commentary and his videos from last year's, I'm definitely not going to make it to 2025's. That ship has sailed. But 2026 would definitely love to get down to South Carolina for that. That would, or wherever, I think it's South Carolina or North Carolina. I don't know, whichever. One of the Carolinas they're in. But Enwar would be a blast. From what I saw last year with like the bushwhacking and all that, it was all very like thematic. I really kind of enjoy that. Not to say that Maryland didn't do their part or whatever, but it was, yeah, it was a trek. FPS caps for Maryland. So I'm not sure about Friday. I don't know what the competition was for FPS caps, but for the 11th hour convention, 11th hour of Blaster Battle, it was 160 FPS. And then, which wasn't checked. Like they had a couple setups there or whatever, so it was the honor system, which I didn't feel like anybody was kind of shooting hotter than that. But our group is used to more of the 200 range. We have 160 FPS events every once in a while down in Kane. Yeah, it felt perfectly normal. And it made for a lot of like a wider range of blasters. And there were some people there shooting much less than 160 or whatever. Yeah, and then for the HVZ, that was 120. And they did check that. They were very diligent. And I appreciate that setup because they had like stations kind of like set up at a couple different places around campus. So you would, take your blasters up. You can measure chrono 5 of them. You got 5 shots. And as long as kind of like the average was right around that 120 range, you were good to go. But yeah, it was so much fun, And my sister had a lot of fun. She's wanting to go back, wanting to do more events and stuff like that. My brother really enjoyed it. My son, he really liked. We were talking about this Sunday night up on our Airbnb. We had a kind of like a rooftop or whatever that overlooked a city, and we were just kind of chatting about what our favorite parts was. And my son's like, I really like the convention, walking around and meeting everybody and seeing everybody and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, I can see that. You like looking at stuff and you like meeting people and chatting about your passions and stuff like that. And here's a room full of people that are diehard Nerf fans, and so that was like right in his wheelhouse. Plus, he did get a confirmation card from my sister, so it had a little bit of cash in there, so he had money burning in his pocket, so there is that too. Let's see what else. It's in North Carolina, yeah. Yeah, X-Fox, it was awesome playing and meeting you guys, you and Amy. It was awesome meeting up with you guys and flinging some foam, man. It was a lot of fun, lots and lots of fun. And one thing I wish I did more of was get more pictures with you guys and with other people around. And I took all of these patches, and I even made up some keychains and stuff like that, and I completely forgot about them. I like just left these in my bag for some reason, and I wanted to go around like kind of trading patches and stuff, but I just kind of was like completely lost train of thought, lost track of time and all that good stuff. So, but didn't get to try the de-linking chain with my son's Rage Fire, unfortunately. He did get to run the Rage Fire right before lunch, and it proved to be a very needed piece of artillery. So speaking of that, here's what's up in here? So here's the can from Dead Man's Foam. I'm not sure. This is a remix, I believe, from someone else. I can't remember, and I hate that. That I don't know that off the top of my head, and I apologize. But yeah, we printed 2 of these things out for my son. One for the chain that came with it that holds like all 90 rounds. And then I also printed off about 90 more rounds of this de-linking chain for him. So the other one was filled with this. And the plan was when you ran out of this, you were gonna switch to the de-linking one. And we used the bag to catch all of it in, and then once those 2 were done, if we had time, we would pull this out, reload it, but not load it into the box, just run it as a continuous chain. Unfortunately, due to the growing number of zombies in the horde, he only got to use this once, and just kind of mowed a bunch of zombies down. We had a point where there was like, we were walking down this corridor where we had a building on our left and there was a pond on our right, and like the walkway was probably maybe 15 feet wide, and then some places like it would, the building had like some pillars or whatever on the left side, so like inside those pillar areas there was about another 5 or 10 feet in there. But he was like kind of right in the thick of it, just, had the sling around his neck and just letting loose. And by the time we made it down, it was probably maybe like a 45, 50 foot walk to the kind of where it opened up into the, like, close to the safe zone. He ran out of ammo and he's like, "Dad, I'm out of ammo, what do I do?" I'm like, "Get over here, let's reload quick." And then the horde just started pushing us like closer and closer to like the safe zone. And it was like, okay, forget it. Just pick it up, grab your stuff, and we're gonna hoof it to the safe zone. And that to me was probably like the most memorable moment. It was like, okay, we're gonna actually get to reload this thing, and like he's pulling out of his backpack and getting it set up. I'm pulling the pin out and kind of like working together. And my sister's kind of giving us covering fire, But I look up and I just see like people just coming around this hill and this bend, and it's just like, Eli, we just gotta go, bud. This is. We got about a 50-foot walk, and it's just, let's go. But yeah, that was a tense moment. So it was fun meeting people and getting like names to faces and really just kind of like interacting with people like in a real environment as opposed to online. It really is it's kind of heartwarming. So, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I really want to do it again. I hope they figure it out and get it into a good place to where they can continue hosting blaster events, because it was just such a oh my goodness, Eli. Good Lord. It was just such a well-run event, just such a well-oiled machine. One thing's for sure, I'm glad we did not go back to Ohio Sunday night. We stayed till Monday and left Monday morning, because I think I finished the day. We got in the car after packing everything up. I think I finished with like 28, almost 30,000 steps, and that was a little nuts. My dogs were barking. There. unfortunately not going to be able to make it to Survival Fest. I know that's like right in our backyard. We're having our family Nerf war up in Tiffin, Ohio. It's a private event that we do, and it's the exact same weekend. So had I planned it, I might have said, hey, let's postpone our event and let's all just kind of go to Survival Fest. But by the time I realized what weekend Survival Fest was, I was like, okay, there's no way we're gonna be able to find a hotel for the 20 people that show up to our little event. I guess it'd be a little bit more because there's a few extra non-players, but we usually have about 13 to 18 players playing at any given time. Oh, here we go. Here's his other box. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Captain Shotgun. Should just get his rage fire out and just shoot this thing. Did make a video, I recorded a video about what my loadout was going to be like for Maryland, but time was dwindling down and I didn't get a chance to edit the thing. I tried to figure out a way on how to get the raw video to my iPad, that my probably now 8 to 10 year old iPad. And I couldn't figure that out in time. I was like, you know what? All right, well, we'll just reshoot it and say this is what I did take to Maryland, and this is what I was originally planning on taking because my loadout changed just slightly. Originally, I was going to use this bandolier, and I had a shotgun. Had like a shotgun that had the shell ejecting things from the AGM or whatever, Mastech. And I think the one thing I learned is, and I'll make a whole nother video about this too, is you really kind of just run with like one main blaster and maybe a secondary, like sidearm or whatever, in case things go south with your primary. Well, I had taken the Maxim, and I had that shotgun like on my back, like my waist or whatever, and then I also had a hammer shot on my drop holster from Foam Mando, and that was a little too much. I really didn't need the shotgun, and had I prepared a little bit better, I probably would have ran the shotgun, probably for like the first mission or so, just because it had a 6-round limit as far as capacity, and that thing has 5 rounds. And I really wanted to use it because it looked fun, like, and it was kind of like one of those things where it's like I kind of want to have that like LARPing experience, and what's more like zombie apocalypse than a shell ejecting shotgun. So, but once things kind of started getting really dicey, like you don't want to have to sit there and kind of reload every 5 shots or whatever. So that's where the Maxim would come into play, which we unlocked full like unlimited ammo capacity, or the raised level max cap or whatever pretty early. I think we had like an hour left in our mission 1 to get that access. So we did really, really well as a team. Go Team Saturn. Yeah. And then obviously once the cap lifted, then switched to the Maxim. But I didn't use the shotgun at all, which is unfortunate because I really, really wanted to. But you better believe the next event I go to, that's going to be my primary for at least the beginning, if not the whole thing. I might just go ahead and just go all in on that shotgun because it's a lot of fun. Even to the point where I might even try modding it to where I can add more shells to it. That is unless the Breacher comes out sooner, if the Breacher does come out, I plan on printing that thing because, yeah, I got to see it in action over the weekend, and that thing is amazing. All right, man, take it easy, Miller family. Have a good evening. Oh, hey, look. See that? Yeah, where's the focus? You probably will see that. So, I'm sorry you can't see that, but CR Nerf, Bill was there. Probably the only one running N1 in his, what's the belt-fed magazine? I can't remember what it's called. Oh God, what it's called? It's not the Pinpoint. It's the other one. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, my brother picked this up during Dart Sweep, and he was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, it's the N1 darts." That came from Bill. He's like the only one running N1. So I hung on to it. Bill, if you want your dart back, I got it. But no, I hung on to that as kind of like a souvenir. That was probably my one souvenir that I took back from the event. Let's see. We got gear. Just trying to organize this a little bit, guys, so it's not like kind of this big pile. You got stuff over there. Let's see. We got some lipos and lipo charger. Case. Ran my unicorn at the blaster battle, which was a lot of fun. Infinite. There you go. Yeah, ran my unicorn and the Maxim at the blaster battle 11th hour. That was tried and true. And it was funny because there were just so many people on the field. Like, I started with the unicorn and I didn't make it through probably maybe 3 magazines at the most. I switched over to the Maxim and went through 6 magazines plus the one that was in the blaster at the beginning in a matter of, I don't know. Oh, that was the 10-minute game. Yeah, so it was probably about 5 minutes in, and I was completely out of ammo. I was like, well, I guess I'm done. So I went back, and because that was the last game, I just went back and started packing up, and then once they were finished with the game, went back and helped dart sweep and stuff like that. It was like, it's amazing going from a Springer to like not a full auto flywheeler, but you just kind of rip through the rounds so much quicker. Here's something my son bought. I'm not sure who he purchased from, but he purchased a Nightingale. Came with a couple magazines. He got a red dot sight. I'm not sure what kind of holster this is, but yeah, I'm sure it's some type of holster. So it's got that extended battery tray with a thumb screw. No battery, but that's okay. I think he spent $20 on it. Yeah. Nothing like having an extra Nightingale magazine. He liked it. He brought this to plink with and stuff like that. This was a lot of fun to print and build. This is a child's play thing. I did get a couple stickers. I've got X-Fox's chip that they printed out for the convention. Eli did collect all of his all those chips, which was really cool. Each of the vendors had a chip that you can collect, and then once you collected them all, you could turn them in or show that you collected them all, and you got a raffle ticket, which was pretty sweet. Yeah, I know, right? That he did get a really good deal on that, positive, and the actual Nightingale itself works. We plugged it in the other night and fired off a few rounds. So we definitely know that works. So it wasn't like a bogus deal or anything like that. But yeah, I think he got 3 magazines and the sight. I mean, the 3 magazines alone would run you $20. So He didn't get the other part of the holster. I think there's a part of that holster that you need to attach to your hip, like the female end of it, which I'll have to look into seeing where we can go to get that. The Fidlock holster system is $30 alone. Huh. Yeah, so it's a good deal. I think he got a good deal. And the thing is that the guys that he purchased a couple things from, he didn't show me who he bought from, but there was like kind of like a gray and like a lime green stringer blaster that he picked up. Not sure who he picked it up from, but it shoots about 95, 100 FPS, and like you can adjust the tension on that string string, and it'll shoot hotter. Took a little bit of getting used to for him because it's like a bullpup design, but it's a pretty slick looking little blaster. I think he was pretty excited. Got some cameras I gotta get some footage out off of. AJ, how was your Maryland Mayhem, my friend? How did you do? I'll have to look that up. Fidlock holster from Out of Darts. I'll look that up. I made it to the last 10 humans. My daughter was the last human standing again. Yeah. As far as the HVZ goes, unfortunately my brother was turned. Let's see. Our mission one was the dirt piles. We had to find something to do with like digging through dirt piles and stuff like that. And then the next. Let's see here. The next one we had to decipher a couple of, I think that was mission 2. I think he was knocked out on mission 3 because we were building like some friendship bracelets or whatever, and we were on the second one, 2. We were over by a water tower. And we had just finished that one. I think we were heading down to our third one, like the third part of mission 3. And unfortunately, he got disarmed and then tagged, like in the same exchange. So he was turned fairly early, and then my son and I, we were turned just after lunch, like the first mission right after lunch. We were kind of in this kind of big area, like this open area. There wasn't a lot of cover, and we were trying to protect one of our teammates that was deciphering a code, and there was like a wall of zombies that just kept coming in. We would clear them out. We probably made it through like 1 or 2 waves, and then they just kind of overran us, and it just was we lost a lot of people in that push. Yeah, Team Mars didn't get harassed much because my brother Phil got tagged early as the first human casualty. So they left us alone since they said whoever gets killed first, don't harass that group much. Oh, poor Team Mars. That's the thing. Like I was on Team Saturn, and I don't feel like we didn't really engage a lot of zombies until probably like right before lunch. We came across a good chunk. There was 2 missions back to back where there was a good chunk of people, a good chunk of zombies that were coming at us. But other than that, it was like a couple stragglers, 2 or 3, 4 here or there, a couple of them kind of pushing us along, like 2 or 3 guys kind of pushing us along, not really like engaging us, but far enough away that we could still see them, but it felt like they were kind of getting us corralled. And we were thinking as humans, obviously, that we were gonna, they're gonna push us this way, and there's gonna be a horde coming around a corner or something, or a bigger group, so they were kind of pinch us in. That didn't really happen until the right before lunch, and that part was exhilarating. Yeah, our medic died pretty quick. And it's funny too, because we didn't have a medic at the beginning anyway, so I'm not sure what happened to the original medic that we were supposed to have, but we had to have a volunteer come over to be our medic from another team, and then our medic ended up dying anyway, so we didn't have a medic, for probably, I don't know, after mission 1. He was out before my brother was even out. But Team Saturn, woo! Here's my vest that I took, and you'll see. I'll go over this in a little bit more detail when I release my loadout video and what I took. But 3, I'm not sure what what do they call these? Taco magazine holsters. I had 3 of these, kind of like a small admin chest rig or whatever. And then on the back, which it didn't survive. It survived me being a human. It didn't survive me being a zombie, unfortunately. But I had, here's the part that broke off. I had my 360 camera kind of loaded up into here. There's another, think of this as another clip that had the stopper tube for there's a hole that goes through here into here, and then my 360 camera kind of ties on here, so it'll sit just over my right shoulder. Slightly higher than I normally like it, but that's only because I wanted it to be high enough that it would see over the top of my head, so that if something was happening on my left, I could really kind of zoom in and point the camera at the action happening over there. Typically, when I have on my regular chest rig, that camera is like sitting kind of right beside my head for more of like a third-person view from like behind, so you see kind of like the back of my head, kind of looking just over top of my shoulder. Very rarely will I switch that camera around to kind of see what's going on around behind me, because most of the time when there's action happening at Kane, it's in front of you. So, but inside here I had like extra batteries for 360 camera. Here's a couple batteries for the GoPros for my brother, sister, and my son. Flashlight, extra batteries, things like that. Sharpie in case we needed a Sharpie for a mission. But that turned out really well. I probably, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't change a thing with how that chest rig ran. The only thing I probably would do is tighten it up a little bit more, because after I started running, it got a little bit looser. And I needed a good way to cinch it up a little bit better. Unfortunately, I tied down the excess straps. So the harasser zombies were actually trying to get us to shoot them so they could dart sweep and fill the bag. Yeah, I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. My brother kind of filled us in with some of the zombie quirks and things like that. And he's like, oh yeah, we're collecting your darts and stuff like that so we can fill up these baskets, and then we get power-ups and stuff like that, and shields and noodles and swords and things like that. I was like, oh, That's how that works, huh? Okay. Probably shouldn't be wasting ammo anyway, but that's why you're encouraging us to shoot at you. Okay, good to know. Good to know. These came in clutch too. I've had this on my belt. I had a red one on my belt. Actually, this is my son's. Here's my belt right here. Talk about the belt. I don't think there's anything in here. But here's the belt that I ran. So I've got my, this came in clutch. This was a water packet. It's got Molly on the front and then got some Molly attachment points on the back here. I just fed it through my belt. But this came in clutch. I think next year, or not next year, next HVZ I run that's a multi-day or multi-hour, I'm gonna probably invest in a Camelback, to be honest with you, because while this worked out really well, having just 20 ounces of water just really didn't cut it. Having a little bit more would have been much appreciated. So then here's the shotgun holster that I had that would kind of sit like on the swell of my back. Worked really well. Once I got this kind of locked back up, it started out like this, and the shotgun actually fell out of here, and that's because I didn't have this belt that I clipped in here around here. This kept it from sliding out. So once I got that kind of back in, I didn't have any problems, but that worked out really well. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use the shotgun. For some reason, I had some extra Nightingale holsters. I didn't even run a Nightingale. Here is a dump pouch, and then my drop leg holster. So that was the belt rig that I ran. Worked out really well. I ran a gutted insulated lunch bag for my mag holster. It worked perfectly. Nice. Hey, if it holds it, keeps it in place, and you can get to it easy, works for me. All about that. I'm gonna switch these out here. But it was an experience, to say the least. Absolutely enjoyed myself. Video coverage will be coming soon. We gotta weed through several cameras worth of footage from several different angles. There's actually anything in here. Here's my part of what I was running for my HVZ and some of the blaster, 11th hour blaster. There was a camera on here. Oh, I must have put it away already. But I had a camera on here. Pulled the sight off of my unicorn once I was done with it, and it turned out really well. Cameras worked all day long, which is great thanks to battery backup. Had constant power, didn't have to. I did some battery management with it, so I didn't run it the whole time. So in between missions and things like that, downtime, obviously I powered it down or whatever. I was more afraid of running out of storage space was the big thing. These batteries will charge those things for a whack ton of time. On top of that, the selfie camera, I've got replacement batteries that I could use it if for some reason that were to run out. But with how that event went, I don't think I would have had to do much battery management for those ones. So yeah, I'm working on a video right now, AJ. It's got all the cameras that I've used, kind of the way the way I want to structure the video is it's going to be all the cameras that I've used. I've got shot footage of each one of them and the various focal lengths and stuff like that. So depending on how, what your engagements, are you engaging people 25 feet or less or 25 feet and more? Like most GoPros, they have like everything is in focus. Some like run cams and things like that, they're rated for like a 30-foot range or whatever. So at 30 feet, everything is kind of crystal clear. If you get a little bit further, like 40 feet or 50 feet, you kind of get a little bit blurry and a little bit more blurry. And likewise, if people get closer to you, 25 feet, 20 feet, blurry, 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 blurry. So I really wanted to display what cameras are good for what ranges and different resolution. I'm going to go through the resolution, the FPS and things like that. And then I also wanted to give kind of like my 2 cents about what cameras are good to buy. Like, everybody says, you want to have, this outstanding camera for your head cam and stuff like that. And that's true. Like, absolutely, you want to have a really good camera for your face cam because, you're going to be running a lot with it, and, motion sickness is a thing, and people will get motion sick watching videos that are, a lot of movement, unless you can mitigate that with a second camera kind of cutting in between, the heavy movements and cutting with another camera to kind of give yourself like a B-roll almost. So yeah, I'm working towards that. But I also wanted to put out there kind of like my buy list. Which one should you buy first? Which one should you buy second? Which one should you buy third? What are you trying to do as far as, are you just trying to show like your kill shots? Are you trying to, tell a story? Is it mission based for like HVZ and things like that? So like having like a selfie cam is really good. Being able to tell a story of what's happening around you, that's important too. And that's where like the 360 camera comes in play, and really like, if I don't see something, it's not going to show up on camera. Whereas with the 360 camera, everything is being recorded that's happening around me. So for example, we were coming on Sunday, we were coming around a bend after finishing our last mission in Mission 1, our last quest in Mission 1 or whatever, task or whatever you want to call it. And we're kind of just strolling through, and we saw, like I said, we had like 1 or 2 zombies chasing us down. Well, one of those zombies was my brother. We were, or maybe it wasn't Mission 1. It might have been right before lunch. I don't remember. But anyway, we were, they were kind of pushing us back in the back or whatever, and he had kind of disappeared or whatever. So we're coming up this ramp to come up to the safe zone, and he jumps out of like this bush area, and my son's like right here on my 6, like right behind me, and my son just like kind of whips around, and he's got his Mark III and just puts like 2 or 3 shots into my brother's chest, and like I wouldn't have even known, like the action had already finished by the time I turned around. And I was like, oh, well, he's like, already pulling his bandana off. So I haven't checked the footage yet, but I know my son's GoPro got it. I guarantee that the 360 camera got it. So it's just a nice kind of like, if something happens and I'm not staring it in the face, like, oh yeah, we can probably pull the 360 for that. But yeah, I was tempted to get a dash cam from Walmart for the front and rear footage. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this camera here, this is the camera I use, and I'll talk about this in that video. This is the camera that I use for my Unicorn, strictly on my Unicorn. It's a motorcycle helmet camera, so it's got a front-facing camera, and then it also has a rear-facing camera, and you can orient this so that it's horizontal, and it's perfect because it's got, it gives you like the selfie cam, and then it also gives you a nice, short to mid-range, and it's probably like, I'd say probably like 35 feet at the max distance. Once you start getting like to 40 and 50 feet, things start to get a little dicey. And then I designed this mount for it that, is it already, it's tightened down, I think. Yeah, it's tightened down. So it slots in here, and it still gives you access to all the buttons. It gives you, for whatever reason, gives you access. I wanted to give you access to the micro SD card and then to the power cord. I don't have any of the power. Oh, I do. So I use these power cords. I might be going a little bit overkill with them, but I use these tips that basically turn any USB-C cable, and you can buy these in any fashion, but they turn any USB-C cable into like a 360 kind of rotating bit here, so you can get real nice and tight in to the blaster or whatever. So like, if you think about my rail and my unicorn, here's, this is where the cord comes out and just sits right here. The other cool thing about these is they're magnetized, so the tips come off. So if something gets caught on my gear or whatever, I'm not gonna damage the USB stick or the USB port on my camera. It will just break off, and then this piece sits in the camera, and this piece sits on the end of the cord here. Might be a little overkill, but I like to be safe. I would honestly rather spend, I think the tips were $14 for 2 of them. I would rather spend a few extra bucks, damage one of those, than have to buy, another $120 camera or whatever. The one bad thing about this motorcycle camera is it puts the time and date stamp on it, so you have to zoom in just a little bit to get that kind of edged out. But other than that, it's really cool because all of it's synced up, so you don't have to worry about any syncing issues. You just hit record once, and both of them are recording at the same time. You can adjust the resolution independently, which I just run it the same because that's the best case scenario. Yeah, you don't have to worry about syncing anything. It's got audio and everything, so. Yeah. Oh no, Andy, you broke your Percy hopper. Oh no. Running up the hill, there was only one left. Running up the hill. We lost a lot of good men that day. Yeah. We had heard the other 2 teams had heavy losses. We just did missions, battled up to 6 zombies at a time. Listen to Drunk Plaster Barbie shenanigans. Nice. I need to readjust this. I can't see you guys. I guess I can pull it closer. You won't. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I got a arm for a extra monitor I had loading around, so I won't be reading you guys' chats off of my phone anymore. So I've got it, and I can read chat. I can view the stream and everything, which is great. I don't even know. Is the music playing? I think the music should be playing. Let's see here. I couldn't run a blaster cam because the mount I had was Picatinny rail mounted, and the Strife X that Big Lord gave me had a flat rail. Ah, okay. Well, man, if you need a rail, I might be able to make something. I don't have my Strife X anymore, unfortunately. But I could probably print something up for you. You can definitely get you something if you're looking for a rail mounted camera. We can definitely get you hooked up. Dead Man's Phone, what up, dude? Here you go, man. This is for you, buddy. So this is what my my son was running for HVZ. I know you know what that is. dual dead man foam tombstone chain canisters. And here's his dump pouch for the shells or for the empty shells. And then we also printed a whole bunch of the disintegrating shells. These things right here. So this yellow basket hung on the side of the tombstone, and you catch these things coming out the other end perfectly. It worked out so well. Unfortunately, he didn't run the disintegrating shells in the HVZ, but it worked really well for the stock one. And it works for the disintegrating. We just didn't get around to getting it loaded up for him. Yeah, dude, it was awesome. We almost got it to. He ran out of ammo during one mission when we were getting charged or whatever, and he's like, "Dad, I need help reloading." And so like my sister was there giving us cover. I already told the story, but he knelt down, pulled off his backpack that had his extra one that was already preloaded. We started loading it up and getting ready, and by the time we were like almost ready to like fill it, like start loading it, the horde was just kind of closing in. So we were like, "Screw it, grab everything and just run, make a run for it." It was probably, like I said before, my favorite experience, like that whole day, running and gunning and stuff like that. It was just like the adrenaline was pumping. It was like, oh, we gotta get you reloaded, and like he was just mowing guys down. It was a welcome addition. He had so much fun with it, and it printed out perfect. Like it was top notch, man, top notch. Eli printed out some teeth for the front of his Rage Fire. I'll show you here in a second when I break open the blaster case. Those are darts. He printed out some teeth that go on the front of it I think they were from printables or whatever. They turned out pretty cool. I was actually surprised they let us keep them on there because they're pretty sharp, and falling into it probably wouldn't have been good. And to be honest with you, as a father, I probably should have said, hey, we probably shouldn't run these. But we didn't glue them in. We just put electrical tape around them to kind of give them a more friction fit hold. So, especially with people running at you, that's a thing. Let's see. When did CR nerf get turned? CR got turned before the hill to the water tower. I made it to the last stand. Last group, maybe 8 of us left. Yeah, my sister of all people, I can't believe it. She made it to the last stand too. And it's funny because my brother and I were standing kind of like on the hill by the road, kind of looking out like, where is she at? There she is. And we just kept going for her and going for her. Eventually someone got her, like tagged her in the face. It was kind of, he apologized afterwards, I can kind of understand how that can happen. But she made it till the very, very end. I was shocked. And every once in a while we kind of saw her, in the distance, just kind of trucking along, just having a good old time. It was so much fun. So much fun. And the thing is, like, I had fun as a zombie too. That's the thing. Like, people would say like, oh, well, once you're dead, it's over, blah, blah. Oh, heck no. And I kind of had that feeling in the back of my mind too. I was like, oh, I really want to shoot my blaster and have a lot of fun. But like, after playing as a zombie, I was like, it's a heck of a lot of exercise, but it is fun. Kind of coordinating around, you know, where the flag respawners are. It's like, okay, do we want to go this way? If we go this way with the flag carriers, we can reduce our respawn from 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it was to 30 seconds, and we can be in the game longer, play longer. Or we can go this way and kind of go rogue and you know, just try and catch some people off guard, you know, because we're not running with a giant horde of zombies. Maybe take some cover and yeah, catch somebody off guard. So, but we decided to stick most of the time we stuck with the flag bearers. So, yeah, dude, the moment that was, I'd have to say, like, off the top of my head, probably the most memorable moment was that, like, that charge where they were kind of collapsing us in, and just seeing him, and he was always at the front of the battle too, which was hilarious. Like, he's only 14 years old, and sometimes I forget that he's 14 because he's almost as tall as I am, and just seeing him like, okay, where did Eli go? I'm trying to like looking in the middle of the crowd, like, no, he is like in the front. He's got the rage fire just like wrapped around his neck, just leaning back and just laying down fire. And, you know, hearing him, I'm out of ammo, watch out, I'm out of ammo. He just runs on back to try to reload. Fomando, love it, love it, love it, love it. Worked out really well. Not only does this hold a Nightingale magazine really well, but it will hold a hammer shot really, really well. All right, here's the 360 camera stick. So this will go into those holsters in the back of my rig. So it normally sits like right about there, but for this one I had it just a little bit higher so the camera could see over my head. Here's the mask that Eli painted shortly before we left. He wanted to make a Pikachu mask, but didn't quite get around to it. But it turned out pretty good. Shotgun, which is still loaded. Come on, Joe. Oh, crap. Now it's going to be double loaded. Or it's going to try to be double loaded. Oh, come on. That was a lot of fun to play with. I ran out of ammo. Andy Griff says I ran out of ammo in prepared my purchase. Ran out of ammo. Take down. I switched to my sidearm and it was over. Sounds like you exhausted all of your weapons. Hey, that's how to go down, man. That's how to go down. Go down with a fight. That's how it works. So yeah, so here's the teeth or whatever that he had on his range fire. But this worked out. I had to sand these posts down quite a bit to get them to slot in. I sanded them down more than I probably needed to, but I wanted them to be able to slot it into the one and then put the locking pin in, pull the locking pin out, pull it out, and then just slot it into the next one. So if you're not planning on doing that, this fits really well. It's very snug, but that might just be my printer settings or whatever. But yeah, I wanted easy mobility when changing them. Yeah, so here's even more of these. I did. Alexa, cancel. I'm gonna unplug you. I did not do a good job of trading patches. Next event, I promise to do better at that. So I got a whole bunch of patches and I got a whole bunch of keychain, blaster blaster bling that I didn't even get a chance to, well, I didn't say I didn't get a chance. I didn't even think about it while I was just having too much fun. Just too much fun. Here's our two long shots that we didn't use, that were our kind of our backups. Ooh, there's like some, ew, yucky. That's a little bit, a little too much lube in that one. We use these for our backups in case our primaries went down. We'll have to clean out that blue one. That's gross. I was about to get tagged at the second main charge. Says AJ, and then Andy Griff's Percy shot directly over my shoulder, and the zombie coming at me saved my butt. Oh, it's moments like that. It's just like, yes, got you, buddy. Here's 1, 2. There should be another magazine that's got purple on it that my son purchased. It came with that. That came with the Nightingale. I don't know where it went. There's another water bottle holder. Here's his Mark III. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's another. There's the other magazine. So I got 3 of those purples. What did I do with his? Oh, it's right there. We didn't end up using our walkie-talkies, and it's probably good that we didn't. It was pretty well contained as far as you didn't travel very far outside of your group. Now, I had this genius idea that after my brother had been turned, that in like after lunch, I threw out the idea to my sister and my son. I was like, hey, you know what we should do? We should go rogue. We, as humans, we should go and hunt zombies. Let's not worry about the mission. Let's not even follow our coordinator. I don't know if that's against the rules or not. Probably is. Let's go hunt some zombies. And my son's like, well, what if we run into zombies, like a group of them, like, 6 to 10 to 15, or like a giant horde? And I was like, well, in that case, you just run. Like we just make a run for it. Like, you don't engage a herd that big, but you can put some covery fire down. Maybe we follow behind a group or something like that, or we kind of figure out where the group is going to go, and we go off a different way and try and head off any oncoming guys. And then he's like, no, let's just stick with the team. I was like, okay, we'll do that. That's fine. It was probably for the best, It was the first time that we were at one of these events, so we probably didn't want to break the rules too much, but kind of like the idea of going rogue. Maybe next time. Let's see. Foam Mando is working on improvement for his universal pistol holder. He asked me to consult on some things with it. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I really dig that. His pistol holders are phenomenal. Dang, I got more of these gun and shells. I want to get one of his dart pouches, his expandable dart pouches. That thing looks super helpful. It's nice because you can still use it. I'm pretty sure you can still use it in its like kind of compact form. And then if you get into a point where you're like, I'm like picking up darts and I need a space for like empty magazines, you can open it up and it just gives you even more storage. Yeah, I've been meaning to reach out to him and placing an order. Because, yeah, the dude does good work. Andy Griff, I am all for it, man. Next time I'm at an event with you, or heck, I'll even mail you some patches and stuff like that. I did use my hammer shot. I used it. And actually, this is another kind of noob memorable moment for me. The hammer shot came in handy when we were, so this was after my brother was turned, but it was right before lunch. We were back at camp, and we had left our cooler with all of our drinks and our lunch and everything like that in the car because we were running late. And we're like, well, we won't need the cooler till lunch, so we'll just leave that here. We'll get it back. It's, it's a cooler. It's meant to, keep the cold things cold. Anyway, we didn't realize that there was a bathroom in the safe zone. We didn't realize that. And so my sister and I were like, well, let's go get the cooler, and on the way we can go to the bathroom. And I was like, she's like, what blaster are you taking? And I was like, well, I'm not gonna take my Maxim because it's almost a two-handed blaster, and I need one hand to kind of maneuver. And I was like, and I don't want to carry it while I'm carrying the cooler back. She's like, well, I'll help you carry the cooler. I was like, well, then you'll have your Seagull and I'll have a Maxim, and we'll each be holding one hand. I'm like, no. Like, I'll be good with the hammer shot, and you'll cover me with your Seagull, as I'm carrying it back. Yeah, we did end up running into one zombie though, and he was very serious. He was very serious. We were walking back. No, we were walking to get. That was in between the bathroom break and getting the cooler. He came out from like one of the central areas where the giant steps were. He kind of saw us, and we were like kind of walking by, and he's like. And he dead sprinted right at us, and sure enough, she like pulled up, her Seagull, and just like click, 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 and just, lit him up, and he went down. But I was ready. So, but it came in handy. I got to use it. I was excited. I need to do a video on the other two blasters though. So, that is coming. Have not forgotten about that yet. Let's see here. Yeah, barking. Let's see here. Yeah, he kept barking orders at me. Like, go here, go there, go over there, get over there. And I'm like, no, says Joe. He was mad at me because I didn't want to do what he was ordering me to do. And then he goes, if you have a problem, say it to my face. I said, I'm right here in your face telling you I won't do what you're telling me to do. Yeah, John did say that you got him a few times there, Joe. He's like, yep. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My sister enjoyed it too. Oh shoot! What just fell off? Oh, just the tape. Yeah, he's a good sport. And our, oh, come on, John, or Eli, left the light on. John's a good sport. During our family events, he's always, we have like these wrist bracelets that have countdown timers on them, and I always set like the timer and like put duct tape over top of it so the like starting zombies don't know when they're gonna turn. And then once the timer runs out, it vibrates and then they turn, so they can act. So everybody starts as humans, but like 3 or 4 people will have, will be test subjects or whatever the story calls for. And well, there's even stickers. Anyway, John's a good sport. He's always like, oh yeah, I'll be a starting zombie, that's fine, or I'll be a test subject. So he gets a couple missions in or whatever for our family games, and then gets to run around with like a zombie with his head cut off. Here's the cards that my son collected. this was a really cool idea. So it's got like the logo of like the sponsors and things like that, and on the back has a printed QR code, 3D printed. That's not a sticker, and takes you to, I don't know if I'm not sure if it takes you to their website. I think it takes you to your website. Takes it to that specific vendor's website or YouTube channel or whatever. A couple extra sites. Yeah, for some reason you got 2 of Seth. So there's Xbox. You got 2 of those. 2 Xbox. I wonder why he picked up 2 of those. That's weird. I want to be adopted into that family. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. Fortunately, we keep it closed to family, immediate family only. Only because my mom makes all the food for the whole thing. She really enjoys cooking, so like if it got too big, I don't think she would enjoy it as much. But we run. There's a couple games that we run for her and my dad. Well, my dad plays in like all of the games that he can, but there's a specific game that we run for them. They basically, my mom's got a Percy's that we got her, and we still need to get her the extended hopper, but and then he runs a BK1S, but he used to run a Nexus Pro, the original, and they just set up in the center of our arena, and then everybody else doesn't have blasters. Everybody else is like a runner, and you have three armbands, and you basically the 2 teams start on opposite sides, and you need to run to the other side and drop off one of your bandanas, and then you kind of like respawn on your starting side, and it's whoever's team gets their bands to the other side first wins. And then mom and dad are just out there. They're just lighting everybody up. If you get hit, then you go back to respawn. 15-second respawn or whatever. It's it's pretty fun. Jesus, your family is strapped. Yeah, they that's a pin for his tombstone. Yeah. Once dad figured out, because he'll pump that Nexus Pro for a few games, and he'll sit out a few and then play one, and then he'll be done for the day. And once he saw mine, he's like, wait, you don't have to pump this thing? He's like, I want one. So he went out, bought one, and he's been in love with it ever since. Hasn't had a problem with it, runs like a champ. So anyway, I think that's about everything. Yep. Let's see how we've been going for about a little over an hour. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up unless anybody else has any other last-minute memorable moments they want to share with the chat. I had a blast. It was a great experience. I'm glad we made it out. I was worried we weren't going to make it out. Last year we kind of fell through. We had a few house issues where there's just, when your furnace breaks, like everything gets put on hold. And when that happened, like a month or 2 prior to last year's event, I was like, there's no way I can swing, a hotel, food, travel, all that stuff. It's an expensive hobby to travel to these places and to do these things, but I'm glad we got to do it, especially with that final announcement. That was kind of heartbreaking, and hopefully they get their stuff figured out, and it carries on, because it was an experience that everyone should be able to take part in at least once. So yeah, hats off to the team, hats off to the to the vendors and the sponsors and stuff like that, the organizers. Like I said, it sounds like the Friday went off without a hitch. Saturday and Sunday were phenomenal. So but Awesome, AJ. That's cool, man. Yeah, if they can find a new venue and keep the blaster, the blaster thing alive, I think, when they mentioned, sock only battles, like, that to me, that's not going to be the same thing. Like, I would still enjoy it, absolutely, and still going down for the Friday event and Saturday, BlasterCon, and then taking part in an HVZ where it's socks only does sound fun, but I don't know how many people would be down for that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's because they put a lot of effort into like storytelling and the mechanics and things like that. So like that stuff does carry you a certain amount of distance, but I don't, is it going to draw the crowd if it's sock only? I'm not sure. I don't know. But if they can find a different venue and, that will allow them to have the space to kind of spread their wings or whatever and keep that same, because we were all over that freaking campus. I really wish I would have turned on my like GPS tracking and tracked my steps. I tracked my steps on my watch, and probably I think I walked just over 10 miles that day. I would have really enjoyed seeing, I got to go back and watch my footage or whatever and take a look at the map and see, I could probably piece together where I was at and then, put it together for the review video and all that. But we were all over the place. Yeah, that's the other thing too that makes it, Andy's got a good point. The other thing that makes it sweet is makes the event what it is the people that show up. So it's not just the blasters. So yeah, I think you've got a good point there, Andy. It's the people that you're playing with, and the the organization and the camaraderie that you kind of forge, and like the friendships that you make and all that stuff, and just seeing seeing these names online and seeing you guys in Instagram and the pictures and all that stuff, that's one thing, but to actually interact with you in person, like to shake your hand, give you a hug, exchange patches or whatever, that's like kind of taking it to the extra mile. And I think that that'll drive a lot of people to those events still. So I know if they did a sock only one, I know I would still come out. Given the scheduling and everything like that, I would still make the effort to come out and enjoy playing with everybody. That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. My Christian retreat / resort, there's a place here in Ohio called Damascus that my son goes to, or well, our school sends the 7th and 8th graders to every year, and they have just a ton of land, and they do archery combat, and they do BB guns, and not BB shooting each other, but BB target shooting and stuff like that. They've got woodsy areas. That's a good idea. That's using your noodle. Slingshot socks count. I'm building one. Right. It would be, yeah, the amount of sock warriors out there. The creativity that would come out of a sock only battle would, slingshots, like, the twirling slings, catapults. People would build like catapults, or would that could be considered a vehicle? Because they were very much in the safety briefing, no vehicles. So I guess it would have to be a catapult that didn't have wheels. So you'd have to it'd have to be manned by like 2 or 3 people carrying it. You'd set it down, launch the cat. That might be a little too much. Oh yeah, the dog ball launcher. I forgot about that. I saw one of those the other day, walking through to pick up dog food, and there's a new and improved one apparently. It shoots further. It didn't say how much further. I think it's like it shoots further. Oh Nerf, you and your claims. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming out watching, meeting everybody. If I missed you, AJ, I don't think I got a chance to hang out or to meet you. We'll catch you in the next one, bud, for sure. But let's talk more about getting you a Picatinny for your Strife X. If that's something you're looking for, dude, for a camera, all for it. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.